Southeast Asian Summit this weekend. Accused spy Jonathan Pollard was released from a U.S. federal prison today after serving 30 years for spying for Israel. It was one of the highest-profile espionage cases in American history and an ongoing irritant in U.S.-Israeli relations. Chief Foreign Affairs correspondent Margaret Warner has the story.
Pollard arrived in New York City this morning after being driven from a federal prison in North Carolina. As a U.S. naval intelligence officer in the 1980s, he passed suitcases of top-secret documents to an Israeli colonel. They contained classified intelligence about Arab governments and Soviet arms shipments. First arrested in 1985, Pollard pled guilty to spying for Israel and was sentenced to life in prison in 1987. Since then, his case has been a source of tension between Israeli and U.S. administrations. Today, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu celebrated his parole after a long campaign for his release.
The people of Israel welcome the release of Jonathan Pollard. As someone who raised his case before successive U.S. presidents many times, I longed for this day. And now, after 3 long and difficult decades, Jonathan is being released.
His wife, Esther, spoke when his parole was first announced.
I'm relieved and I'm happy that our ordeal is finally coming to an end.
Are you going to Brooklyn?
Pollard made no statements today. Under the terms of his parole, he must stay in the U.S. for 5 years while wearing a digital GPS tracking device. His lawyers are asking a federal judge to overturn this requirement and let him move to Israel, which granted him citizenship in 1995. Pollard will work at a finance firm in New York.